Welcome. I'm Halcyon, and this is Hug Nation. Today I want to talk about 'tis the season for gratitude and gifting. We are through Halloween and into November, and that means, yes, it is time to be inundated with Christmas stuff. Why? Because Christmas is when retailers make the majority of their money. So the marketing juggernaut of our culture, they're like, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. November, go, 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 go. Sales, 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 sales. Start the assault. Start the brain squeezing to make us freaked out about what we need to buy, what we need to buy, what we need to buy. And what's interesting about this time of year, it's less about what's wrong with us that we need to purchase something to fix, which is that's the year-round marketing message. At the end of the year, we get in that kind of frenzied, crazied, just need to buy things to satisfy our obligation to have gifts for everyone. And it's a shame that something that is so pure and such a potentially healing and uplifting and energizing and connecting process, that of gift giving, becomes so tainted by the obligations of the gift giving season. So it's really important during this time of year, and I'm including Thanksgiving into Christmas, because Thanksgiving is such an important anchor. It's like that's your last bastion of hope. That's like last gas before we go into the oblivion of the holiday season. It's such an important time of year to really focus on gratitude and focus on gift giving as a practice of gifting. And what I mean by that is, if you are giving a gift out of obligation, which is so often the case when you have a institutionalized holiday, whether that be Valentine's Day or Christmas, or it's actually, if you look, most holidays we've been squeezed into trying to make it into some sort of gift giving or purchasing based holiday. But really, the New Year's Eve of gift giving is Christmas. It is the holy holiday of obligation. And when you have that obligation, it robs you of the very nature of what makes something a gift. When you give the gifting process is where, when you give something to someone without expectations, without obligation, a free expression of trying to make someone's experience better, to lift them up, to add light and sparkle to their day or moment or life. And they receive that gift, and it lights them up, that makes them happy. Oh, whether it is a tiny thing, oh my goodness, a cookie, or whether it is a massive thing, my college tuition, or a liver. Any of these, a gift that lights someone up. When you see the recipient light up, it lights you up. And that example of a +1 experience of the receiver creating a +1 experience in the giver is what is the magical recipe of gifting. That is not the same situation with a transactional or an obligation-based reciprocal situation. If you are expecting me to give you a gift card on your birthday, and I give you a gift card on your birthday, you might give a show of, oh, thank you, Grandma. But really, you were expecting that. So it's not the same as if, whoa, really? Thank you. Wow. And then you get to feel that +1. If it's expected, it's +1 -1 transactional, net 0, or somewhere in there, but not the +1 of gifting. And so during the holiday season, it's really important to become aware of if you get dragged into transactional thinking. If you ever find yourself walking through the mall going like, I got to get something for Aunt Jen. I got to get something for Aunt Jen. I got to get something for Uncle Tommy. That is not a joyful experience. And if you have a family dynamic where you know you're headed to that, best case scenario, raise a hand up and reach out to the family and say, hey, can we change this dynamic a little bit? Can we do gift giving in a different way? Can we give to a charity? Each of us give to a charity and then share to one another what we're doing? Or can we agree to give gifts that are handmade? Or can we agree to do something that breaks us out of this expectation, this cultural pattern? Of course, many people do not have that kind of luxury in their family dynamics where they can say, hey, can we change this tradition? And so if you are in that and you have to play the game, just stay aware of it so that you can kind of not let your thoughts get caught up in the madness. And if you know you have to participate in the madness, perhaps participate in a way that reduces the negative of other aspects of the process. And by that I mean, don't buy stuff that adds to the crap of the world. Don't buy stuff that adds to creation of plastic and shipping and the cheap making and discarding culture that we have. Buy something that is locally made, a gift that by purchasing it is supporting the work of an individual or a family or an artist or a local business, as opposed to just becoming a cog of the multinational oppressive corporate system that is not acting from a place of conscious decisions. It is not protecting you. It has not got our best interests in mind. Whereas a local person or an artist has all sorts of values and humanity tied into the creation of what they create. So if you must, see if you can do so with as little destructive impact as possible. Perhaps gifting an experience is another way to really get around the negative. A trip to a museum, which reminds me, I gifted my mom a trip to a museum exhibit and then I missed the exhibit. I owe my mom. Whoa, that's not good. I gotta make it up. Well, maybe there's another lesson here somewhere, but an experience, a gift to a museum, a meal, a trip to a restaurant, a trip, a vacation. Those are often a little expensive, but if you can afford it, great. But you can do a staycation. You can have an afternoon or a long lunch or a trip in a local trail. Your time is precious, and kind of training your family's patterns into a way that does not fall into what the culture expects you to do, but it instead steers you towards the valuing of each other's time and what's truly precious. Suddenly this momentum that was so destructive can become one of activism and good and connection and making your family relationships better, instead of being a toxic commercialism, commodification of your relationships. So before we get deep into I wanted to bring that up now before even Thanksgiving time, because that's when the marketers are getting into it. There's already talk of the sales and there have been very smart people with access to all sorts of your data that has been strategizing with big computers and all sorts of technical things that are beyond our logical thinking, of ways to get us into the purchasing frenzy. So we got to be aware of it as soon as possible. So be on guard. That being said, we have this buffer. Before we really get launched, we've got Thanksgiving. The rare holiday where we are not expected to buy things, and it is a chance to count our blessings. May every day be Thanksgiving, but Gosh, I love Thanksgiving. This is the first year actually that I am with my parents every year. This year, my family is having tofurkey only. In the past, because of my habits, we've had like turkey and tofurkey. We've had, I was a pescatarian last year, so we had, I think, salmon. But this year, my parents are off meat for the most part. I'm pescatarian for the most part. And so this year we're having tofurkey only at our Thanksgiving meal, which is, if that ain't a sign of the times, woo! But I wanted to spend another minute just talking about the importance of gratitude and how it has become a deeper practice for me lately. When in doubt, gratitude. As Tony Robbins likes to say, you can't be angry and grateful at the same time. Gratitude is the foundation of everything. And even if nothing else is making sense, if you can't get your footing, you can find little things to be grateful for and at least take a break from negative thoughts, take a break from the momentum or the pull into darkness and a funk. And so no matter what, having a gratitude practice is, by almost all teachers with regard to happiness and all studies, gratitude journal, keeping a gratitude list is the number one way to shift your attitude and your mindset. So I've been doing that lately in the group that I run online. I have this Love Warriors group where we meet once a week in a video group. And then we have daily check-ins where we share 5 things we're grateful for and what I did today. And sometimes there's overlap, but grateful I did. Grateful I did. Every day, just kind of taking a break from whatever frenzies in my mind or all of our mind to state out, okay, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I'm like looking around the room going, today sucks. Like, what am I grateful for? Okay, wait. I'm grateful for running water. I'm grateful for this clean water that just flows out of the walls of my house like a fucking miracle. Okay, I'm grateful for that. But my body hurts. My shoulder's been aching. I can't work out. Oh, wait, but my knees and legs work. Oh, I'm grateful that I can walk without pain. Okay, I'm grateful for that. And then some days you're like, I'm grateful for my family that made me this cool meal. I'm grateful that I got to get together with friends and see their art. I'm grateful for, and just that daily practice. And then what makes it so wonderful when you do it in a group or when you do it publicly, whether you put it in your social media or text it to friends or join a group like Love Warriors, is that you get the accountability so that if you don't want to skip a day because everyone's doing it. But more beautifully is that you sense and feel the human expressions of the other people that are contributing. You get this taste of others' lives that is everything that social media should be. Social media is often people, you get this taste of their lives that's a little glossy, a little Instagrammy. But when people share gratitude lists and what they did today, you get a touch of their life and their families and the anchoring deep thoughts that make their human experience beautiful. And I find that makes my appreciation of all human experience more beautiful. And it makes me feel more tuned in to the aspects of the human experience that I maybe have not been paying attention to. I see on the list, oh gosh, yeah, I have that in my life. Why have I not? Or here's an opportunity for me to start paying attention to these wonderful things. I see they did this thing. Oh yeah, I could do that. Or wow, that's so cool that they did that. And it really just like I feel this connection to these other people, and I feel that their joy, their gratitude inspires my joy and my gratitude. So highly urge you to do that. I've been now doing that since coming back from Burning Man with these private groups, and am going to be continuing to do that. If you want to join our group, we're starting up a new round of it. Normally it is $111 a month. But I'm deciding that because holidays are a rough time and because I want to see if we can inspire each other as much as possible, going to do, if you support me on Patreon for $20, the $20 level, it's free. You can join our Love Warriors group through the end of the year. And we can do these daily check-ins, the weekly video calls. I would love to share this experience. And then the Patreon money, if you saw the video that I did a couple weeks ago, the Patreon money will then give to some homeless and rock someone's world. I don't want to make the whole thing free and with no commitment, because it's more powerful when you have a commitment, when you've got something in the game, some skin in the game. Is that what they say? I'm not sure what that means. Sounds pornographic. So support me at $20 a month. Be a part of the Love Warriors group and help blow someone's mind who is in need. And so hopefully you'll join me for that. But even if that does not sound like what you want to do, please, I urge you, stay on guard during the end of the year season. Focus on gratitude. Be conscious of your gifting. This is a beautiful season, and it is so difficult as well. So many things pulling us, so much money to be made. And when that is the case, so much manipulation going on. So many heartstrings being pulled, as well as so much history and stories that we bring to this time of year. So be kind to yourself and use gratitude and gifting as your tools to stay strong, stay anchored, stay connected. That reminds me of another thing I was going to say. So speaking of gratitude, I became aware of a way that Facebook is stealing my gratitude, stealing my appreciation, dimming my ability to be happy with what is and feel abundant with the way things are. It's because of advertising. Duh. Well, let me tell you why it's so insidious. So I have really made an effort to remove advertising from my life. I pay for YouTube Red, so I don't see advertisements when I watch YouTube. I pay for Netflix and Amazon Prime, so I don't see advertising when I watch media, like I would through television. I'm not saying I don't watch TV shows, but I don't watch them with advertisements. I don't want to have those messages of marketing affecting my perspectives. But I do spend, we'll say too much, time going through my Facebook feed. And the Facebook feed has sponsored posts, more and more and more sponsored posts. So I am seeing advertising constantly through my feed. But here's where it gets insidious. They don't feel like ads in the same way that a car commercial does, because they are targeted and they are crafted to sound and feel like posts by someone that I know or want to know. And so these messages are targeted to me based on the way I act and what I'm looking for. So even if I'm scrolling through because, it's a sponsored post, I'm still seeing them. And occasionally I get caught into one. And so the things that I am paying attention to, the things that I'm looking for on the web outside of Facebook come at me. And so some of the things that I'm looking for on the web are problems that I'm trying to solve, or concerns that I have, or I'm looking into maybe doing some trainings to learn more, to grow my business. So what is my Facebook full of? Trainings, ways to build my business. And so from the perspective of my feed, in the same way that there's this echo chamber that shows me perspectives that are like mine, it shows me advertising things that are in line with my needs or insecurities or fears. And so I go through this, I'm like, without realizing it, I'm like, holy crap, there is so much that I need to learn. Oh my gosh, there are so many people doing things similar to what I want to be doing. oh my gosh, like I found myself feeling so overwhelmed because of the more I was perceiving to be the reality of the world, the more incompetent I felt, the more behind I felt, the more lack I felt in where I was and where I stood. And then I realized, oh, that's because of this targeted advertising. It's so easy for me to go, oh, a truck ad trying to convince me that I'm not macho if I don't have a big SUV. But someone using a subtle description of trying to use their mastery of helping people and help the world, and and I'm like, oh, well, I want to help the world. Oh, wait, no, advertising. But it starts chipping away. Have you noticed that? I wonder what it would cost if there ever was an option to get Facebook without ads. It'd be worth it for me. I wonder what it's going to take to get off of Facebook. If you are not on my email list, I am trying to get in contact with as many people as possible so that if I need to retreat from this platform, I can do so. So if you go to list.hugnation.com, at least we have ability to stay in contact if they either kick me off the platform or if I finally get fed up with the platform. I don't want to depend on the corporate connection to keep it alive. And that's I think that will be an ongoing thing that we all have to figure out, because clearly, like, if there was 6 sites that all of my friends were on and all the connections were in place and I could just choose, I go, well, who's the one that is acting with the most integrity and righteousness? Well, it ain't Facebook, so I'm going to talk to my friends and do my Facebook lives or my live broadcast through blank. But if I go, I'm going to use Fred's site right now, you probably wouldn't see it. You'd have no idea that I was doing it, and we'd lose touch. No, I guess Halcyon's on sabbatical or out traveling because he hasn't been on Facebook for weeks. So we need to have our private, non-corporate connections. So the one I'm using is my list at list.hugnation.com. I hope we can stay connected through that. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for watching. If you could hit subscribe, it would make such a big difference to me. And if you hit the like button, boom, 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 it helps other people see these videos. And wouldn't that be awesome? Thank you. And cut.